second grade, from kindergarten, first grade, and second grade. I believe I'm on speed dial for Mrs. Johnson at Thompson Crossing. He's kind of had some troubles, not because he's a bad kid, and of course as his parent, I think he's the best kid, but I don't think that he felt like he was. So the second class? The second class we came in here, and he showed focus and he showed excitement, and Master Theris handed him a magazine, which to most people would be no big deal at all. But to this kid, you know, for someone as cool as Master Theris to actually pull me out and say, hey, you're great. He gets in the car, and then something that's really different in our family is he says, Mom, I can't wait to go to school tomorrow. I can't wait to tell people about what happened. And for us, it's kind of a big deal. So he did. He went to school, and of course Dad and I are saps and we cry, but he did go to school, and the very next day I was going in to watch Ryan practice when Miss Johnson, who normally calls me and says, oh, Miss Kelly, this time she said, what are you doing with him? What has changed? And I explained to her that he was in this program. Since then, I've gotten good phone calls, which I'm not sure how to handle. He has just really stepped up.
I'm very proud of Bryce. He played a football game this morning. He is the quarterback for his team, and that's just how he is. He knew that they needed him as well. So he went and played 4 quarters of football before he came out and did this. So very proud of him. No, sir.
He's made us very proud. Being a fine young man.
Not as smart as Billy. I just don't get what my teacher is saying. Why does he keep picking on me?
These feelings are not unusual. Every child has doubts, fears, and times when they lack confidence. Children deserve the chance to better themselves, to be confident, mentally strong, and physically fit. Level 10 martial arts is the answer. Meet James Theros, owner of Level 10. His interest in martial arts began at age 9. After attending several different schools, he found his home with Grandmaster Young P. Che. He began studying Taekwondo, Kung Fu, and Hapkido, as well as having cross-trained in multiple other arts. But as he developed his skills and began teaching his art, he realized there were many more benefits than just physical. For over 15 years, James Theros has nurtured children and adults of all ages, building their character, self-respect, pride, and confidence.
Our philosophy is a little bit different, I think, than many martial arts schools in the, even in the Midwest or even the United States. A lot of people, when they think of martial arts, they're strictly thinking of the physical side of things, and I think the main term that comes to mind is self-defense or fighting even. And while we do some of that, that's not the mainstay of our training. Our philosophy is that this is a place of personal and character development, a place of higher learning.
Our goal is to take a student that comes in maybe struggling at school, maybe attitude issues, anger management issues. We want them to learn and understand what focus is, how, if they learn to focus in the martial arts school, how that can bleed over to their schoolwork and take them to AB honor roll. and how it can bleed into the family life, how they treat mom and dad, how they treat their siblings.
Christine and I actually trained years ago. We actually owned a school. It was a partnership in a school years ago, and when Jonathan decided he wanted to train, we looked at the other schools on the south side. We are local Southsiders, and by far level 10 was the school that we chose.
Master Theros has worked very hard to make a positive environment here. It creates a place where we can all build each other up, and where even when we're competing with one another, we're really secretly wishing for each other's best.
You don't get torn down to be built up. They build you up. Life in the real world tears you apart to begin with. Here it's, hey, how you doing? Doing good? Great. How can we make it better? Let's kick, let's sweat, let's have a great time. It's very positive, upbeat, family-friendly atmosphere. They never teach people to beat someone else down. It's always trying to lift someone up.
In our school, the students know that self-discipline is the act of doing what you're supposed to be doing, that's the key word, without having to be told to do it, such as brushing your teeth in the morning, getting up for school on time without having the mom and dad come in and shake you every 5 minutes, getting your homework done. If you're an adult, getting work done. You're taking your work home and making sure that if you've got a project, it gets done and gets turned in and you're a person of your word. That self-discipline training is going to supercharge your entire life, and it's going to get people to look at you a lot differently, and if you're a child, people are going to look at you and treat you more like an adult, because that's the thing that parents probably want to see more than anything else, is to have their children become responsible.
We spend a lot of time with our young boys working on focus and self-control. Self-discipline is a big area, and I tell them straight out, Joey, Mom doesn't want to pick up your dirty socks or your dirty underwear. You pick them up, you put them in a laundry basket, and Mom's on the side saying, oh, thank you, thank you. But those are the things that we're teaching them life skills. With our girls, we run into a lot of self-esteem issues where they really don't know who they are. And what we want to do is we want to give them some identity. We want to give them some skills so that they can feel good, feel confident about who they are, and we want them to be able to protect themselves.
Her self-respect and confidence have risen to enormous heights. I'm so proud of what they have taught them, and not to be afraid to meet life's challenges, not to use their skills against anybody, but defend themselves if they have to.
If Joey's having trouble with self-discipline, we can help. If Joey's having trouble with focus, we can help. If Joey's having trouble with his self-esteem, with bullies, we can help.
Our Little Ninjas program is not the traditional martial arts program that we offer to ages 6 and above. It's very much like a kindergarten program or even a preschool program, which they're not going to be focused so much on the reading, the writing, and the arithmetic. They're going to be focused more on social skills. They're going to be focused more on team building and development of their confidence in themselves with their classmates and interpersonal relationships.
For that age group, there's a big variety in the skill sets. Physical skill set, the emotional maturity, all those things. So you see kids come in who are very mature but lack coordination. You see kids come in who are fast and strong and coordinated, but they lack the discipline and the control and all those things. So it's a neat group of kids.
We're going to teach them how to focus. Can you imagine a 4-year-old going into kindergarten and then going into 1st grade, having completely understood what focus is and when it's time to sit still and when it's time to pay attention, and how to make eye contact with an instructor or a teacher who's talking, and how that eye contact will help them remember and retain 90% more of what they're supposed to be learning.
She's learned a lot of coordination, the ability to balance and to keep focused on have a specific purpose or a specific intent in mind.
You see a real difference in their ability to focus, their ability to be still, the respect that they show their parents. A lot of times what I see, the kids who come in here, they're lacking a little bit of, respect, I guess. Talking back maybe to mom and dad. Their mom and dad are looking for some help in those areas. So I see them learning to appreciate and be respectful. And pick up those things here and then apply those outside. I love it when I hear mom and dad say, boy, teachers are noticing a difference, we're noticing a difference.
She said his behavior has changed. He's more disciplined, he's more focused. Even his preschool teacher says, "What did you do?" Because they're seeing the changes, and that's what we want. We want to see the changes. We want to make changes in the students.
Our instructors are very carefully chosen. I handpick each one of our instructors. They're all upstanding folks and very upwardly mobile folks as well. You'll find that our instructors are very articulate and very well educated. And I'm a parent as well. I've got 4 kids as well. I want my kids hanging out with guys like that.
It's the instructor's time to mold and develop your son or your daughter into what we want them to be.
It's more like a family. They really pick each person and get to know each one of them. I feel like they do, and they know everyone's names, and you really feel like they genuinely care about you.
We have a constant instructor training program where the students in the leadership program are working as assistants in the class to help develop their leadership, but they're also getting a 90-minute training with me personally every other week. In addition to that, we have a 9-week instructors program course that we run every year, and all of my instructors go through it and get recertified each and every year. So our instructors are CPR certified, and they're instructor accredited and certified in teaching.
Whether they're adults, families, or children, or in between, you know, we're going to hit everybody, and everybody can benefit from it. Who can't benefit from self-defense and self-discipline and respect and focus and self-control and all these characteristics and attributes? Everybody.
There's not very many sports or activities you can do as a family. You know, bowling maybe, but it's not very physical. So there's not very much you can do as a family where you all go, you're moving, you're exercising, you're doing that kind of stuff together, and the kids are going to be just as good, sometimes maybe even better than the parents. You're not automatically better than your kids because you're older, and that's a really cool thing.
If your parents can get out there and do what you're doing and show you that even at, say, 25 or 35 or even 45, sometimes 55 years old, they're not too old to get out there and try to learn some new tricks. Imagine what that does for the child's confidence in that parent, and what it does for the building of the relationship, to have the child see the parent struggle a little bit and then see them overcome their struggles. What kind of a better way can you teach your child than through personal example?
We actually all started together. My husband and Rose I sent over here for an introductory lesson, and they came home raving about the school and said, "You got to come with us." And I was a little leery, but they dragged me along. Mrs. Saris handed me a uniform and had me on the floor before I could get the word no out. And since then, we've kind of been doing this as a family. It's something that we think is important to do together.
I really love the people. You know, not only is it a great place for training in the martial arts, but, you know, the people really bring it together as a big family. And I feel like I belong here.
They focus on personal development and discipline and respect, and it's just a whole lot more than martial arts, and that's exactly what I wanted to hear, because I think that's great things to help my daughter and myself grow as people, so it hasn't disappointed.
They can have the physical activity, they can get the mental training, they can learn the respect and the discipline and those other benefits that come from martial arts. But then we do it as a family, we go home as a family, we can talk about it, we can practice. I can ask my kids for help, they can ask me for help. We talk about things that we do here. You know, we do social things even as a school. We do picnics and parties and different things like that.
They come in and they find, well, this is really a safe environment. That's when the growth can start to happen. That's when they can start putting those shoulders back and holding their head a little bit higher and realize that, you know, I do have a family, I'm part of a group, and together we're stronger.
Calvin was diagnosed with Hodgkin's lymphoma, stage 3, in late July of 2009.
We just finished this month doing a drive for one of our purple belts. He's 10 years old, his name's Calvin.
He was not able to do martial arts, and you know, as a family we weren't able to do martial arts because dealing with cancer is a family issue. You know, none of us were available to be here, and we have been surrounded by support from this family, and it is a family. We're so grateful to them for doing that. We've been very moved, and you know, telling them thank you doesn't cover the you know, the gratitude that we feel.
This is what Benjamin Franklin had to say, and he said, if you empty your purse into your mind will fill your purse. And so that's the one place that you don't want to shortchange yourself. If you're looking for a program that's going to be well-rounded and give you things that you can't get any other school, then you're going to have to think about maybe investing in just a little bit more to get that. And so if that speaks to you and you're concerned more with the quality of your education than you are with budgeting, then you're in the right place.
Number one, it's a very open and friendly and respectful environment, and no matter what level you're at, they treat you with respect and help you at your level. And because I came in and never being in it before, and I feel really comfortable. How about you?
I feel extremely comfortable. I mean, I'm not good at all these kinds of things, but they actually teach you and help you until you get it right. And then, yeah, that's just really cool.
You're going to find that we have a very flexible schedule. For instance, you're going to the YMCA, you're going to pay a lot less for the program, but also you've got 2 days a week to choose from, and it's really one time, Tuesday, Thursday, maybe it's 6 o'clock or 6:45, and you've got just that time to choose. And that's pretty much the extent of it. Where at our school, if 4:30 doesn't work, we've got 6:45. If 6:45 doesn't work, we've got 7:40. So we've got a very flexible schedule.
5, 6, 7.
A clean, professionally clutter-free environment is also something that helps us to keep a professional look and feel to our school. We have it professionally cleaned twice a week, top to bottom, and we have the floor sanitized, and we have air fresheners that keep the odors away. We repaint the school at least once a year, sometimes twice a year, and we replace faulty equipment or old equipment, usually once or twice a year as well, to make sure that everything is kept up.
There's so much more to the martial arts than just the kicking and the punching. There's the respect, there's the focus, there's the integrity, there's the honesty, there's the setting goals and learning how to set goals and how to achieve goals. And those were the things that I was looking for in a school when we decided to come here. And it makes me feel wonderful that that's what she's learned from here.
When I was a little younger, I was just like, can anybody just give me something? I want it all. I want the spotlight. And now it's, what can I do to give you a spotlight?
It gives you strength, flexibility, speed. It gives you just, it's an all-around package, and not other schools can do that.
Those kids who do the work and stick with it, they reap the benefits. You know, they perform well. They're proud of their performance. When you don't do so well, you don't perform well, and you don't feel very good about that. So you definitely get that. That translates to school as well. You can't get an A on the math test if you're not practicing your math. You can't get an A on the spelling test if you're not practicing the spelling.
I have seen a change in my kids' level of confidence, and I've seen a change in their determination and getting things done. And when you start something, you finish something. It's like having an extra parent to back you up. You know, you've got people here who are encouraging your kids. You know, they bring their report cards in, and you know they've got not just an extra parent, but they've got a whole group of extra parents saying, "Good job, you did a great job," and it's nice to have that support around you.
She's more attentive to her chores. She likes to play a lot of card games and stuff like that, and she can concentrate on and keep up with stuff that you wouldn't expect of a 5-year-old.
Jordan's got ADHD, and this gave him such focus. I couldn't believe how he was able to concentrate and focus. It's just helped him so much, and that helps me.
With my job, I sit at a desk, so I do not get a lot of exercise. I knew I was going to keep her in it, and I was going to be here 2 nights a week anyway, so I looked at that as an opportunity to get myself in shape too and spend time with her.
One of the first benefits an adult will realize is they're going to start feeling healthier. Their body's going to start responding. When the body is healthy, the mind follows, and so they'll have a more positive outlook on life.
Although I'm not yet a black belt, it is something that I now aspire to do that I never thought I would want to do in my life. But now that I'm here, it's definitely a goal now.
I also go to church, and that hits the spiritual very well. But there aren't a lot of places where you can learn the concepts of goal setting, the concepts of following through in what you start on. And this is a place that does that very, very well.
So I found what I'm good at, and I found what I can do more than what I can't do. And just that knowledge of being able to say, I can do this, and I have done things. I've achieved my black belt, okay? And because of that, I know that anything I want to do, I will do.
That's one of the things that we're really good at is to reframing a child's thinking and get them to respect and to want to respect authority figures and want to be better, and want to achieve more, and want to get better grades versus being told you have to get better grades. We want to influence them to want to be more versus telling them you have to do this.
Master Theros is, in my opinion, he's very knowledgeable. He is very respectful. I myself find a lot of his talks when he is talking to the kids, he's very motivational. He communicates well with everyone. You know, every week he sends out emails. I think he wants to make everybody better, including the parents.
We also are able to go into our Indianapolis and Beech Grove and Greenwood school systems and provide instruction free of charge to those school systems to help raise funds for those school systems. Primarily because I'm available during the daytime. I'm not working another job. This is what I'm thinking about 24 hours a day. And we'll go into the school system and we'll do the same thing at maybe one of our close by elementary schools and go in there and take 100 children and raise their confidence and their belief and their respect level, and it changes the environment in their classrooms so the teachers constantly are calling us to come back and do this again.
You have teachers adopting and borrowing some of our terminology because it's so effective with those students. You know, that's pretty impressive, and it says a lot, like I said, about his vision, about his desire and willingness to get out in the community and do his passion.
One of the nice things about having our classes being family-oriented is that instead of just having a separate child's class and a separate adult class, which we do have some of that, children are going to be on the floor with teenagers who are older than them and adults who are older than them. They're going to see by example how to behave, how to think about things. They're going to, maybe an 8-year-old young man who's in our advanced class is going to watch a 16-year-old young man fail his test. There's an old saying in the martial arts called, in Korean we say, Chiljan Palgi, which means fall down 7, get up 8. So in our classes, when a student fails, they're going to see somebody who handles it in a healthy way, and they're going to see maybe somebody who doesn't handle it so well, and they're going to know which one's right from wrong.
You can go to other martial arts schools and that's fine. They'll teach you how to kick and punch just well. But not even the school systems can teach the lessons that we're teaching here the way that we're doing it. You know, so that's one thing that you have to consider. Our purpose and mission is to build an organization of leaders who will go out and affect the world in a positive way.
You are not going to find another school in the state of Indiana that teaches the success philosophy that we teach. Not only do we teach leadership in our classes, but we teach success mentality. And so we do a lot of weaving in of those success principles into our program. I'll teach a student what made me successful as a competitor, for instance, and then tie that into how that can make them successful as a student.
To be at this school, you have to understand that this is about your child and trying to make them be the best kid they can be. And sometimes that takes one of the instructors to be a little harder or to call them out in class. It has happened to Bryce, and as a parent, it is difficult to sit back and watch your child get disciplined in front of others. But that's a teaching tool, and it's part of life. And I think in the end it benefits the kids. They're very professional. They don't talk down to them. They just try to correct them and make them better.
But that's what I want to do is basically build them up and let them know that you're not alone. Everybody here has fallen before. This is a safe environment and a safe place to make mistakes, and we want to teach you how to learn from them and get better. That's what we're about, is progress.
It might not pertain to the kids now, but they will have heard it and someday look back and say, oh, the light bulb will go off and they'll think, yeah, that's what he was talking about.
When they start dealing with a student with lack of confidence, we have ways of actually bringing those confidence levels up. Our instructors know how to actually get inside a child's mind or even an adult's mind and get them to bring something out of that person that they didn't think was there before.
The program's individualized for the student. So whatever that your child might not have the same problem or the same struggles or the same difficulties as someone else. So it's very important that we know the areas that we're working on with each student and we individualize them, because we do want them to be the very best that they can be at school, at home, at work, in life.
They're working hard toward a goal, and so, you know, when they earn a new belt, when they reach a new level, they do feel a great sense of accomplishment and ownership in what they're doing.
When a student first comes to us, we begin them in our Taekwondo program. That's our orientation program, and they'll learn all of the basic blocking, striking, stances, and kicking techniques, and the philosophies that go behind self-defense, the ABCs of self-defense that we teach. Once a student's got that foundation built up and has decided in their mind that they're here to train and be serious, become a black belt with us, then they'll move into one of our black belt training programs, either the master's training program or the leadership program, and at that point they'll begin learning the Hapkido training and the Kung Fu training, which will help really make them understand the Taekwondo training. So they've got a huge 360-degree view of the martial arts as a whole versus just learning one system or one art.
I chose this place because it is the best in town, and I didn't practice before this because I couldn't find a place that matched this quality. Master Theros is incredible. He is a wealth of knowledge. He is constantly building himself, reading books, going overseas to train with the great masters of the world in order to bring it back to us and give us a distilled, concentrated version of the wisdom and of the skills that he learns throughout all the rest of the planet.
They also learn weaponry. They'll learn 4 weapons, 4 core weapons that we teach in our system from the way from white belt to black belt, which gives them tremendous coordination, hand-eye coordination, which will equate to better sports and better ability and dexterity with maybe a musical instrument or a sports activity, maybe tennis or something, or baseball. They're going to have a huge advantage over the average person by using these weapons.
I personally love all the weapons training because I am confident this is one of maybe 2 schools in the entire state that you can get a full line of weapons training.
That's right.
Meaning all of them.
Success here is treated less like a pie that everybody's trying to get a piece of, and more like a candle that you have, and it only gets even better the more you spread it around.
About a year and a half ago, I weighed 286 pounds, and I've lost 50 pounds since then. Like everyone was telling me at school, like the kids and stuff, and I was listening to them because they're my peers. They were saying, you can't do this, you're not going to be able to do anything. But I got here and it was, you can, don't let them stop you. And which made me like a better person, and I think I can do anything I set my mind to now.
We started out looking for someplace for my son, like I said, who's autistic. We needed some help with just development in every aspect. They really paid attention to what he could do and encouraged him that way, because there are so many things that he can't do, that they picked out the things that they noticed that, hey, he can do this, and encouraged him that way. I never thought he'd be able to stand in a room out there with everything going on, you know, 10 different conversations and everybody yelling and running drills, and be able to still function and not have to leave the room.
Just by nature, like I said, I'm an introverted nerd, and I'm one of those people that tried to get through life without having any impact. But now that I've learned some wisdom here and I've had a chance to really get down and dirty and work with people and learn that I do have something to offer them, now I don't mind really talking with people and influencing them and really working side by side with them, helping them to grow too. I feel like now I have something to offer.
Well, Bryce has been here for 3 years now. He is a straight A student. His focus is 100 times better than it was. He's very self-confident in the other sports that he participates in. He's very respectful. He is just, all aspects of it have made him a well-rounded kid.
I'm more willing to help people. I'm more willing to come out of my shell in order to help other people benefit. I'm not so, concerned with what I can get as opposed to what other people can get now.
I've lost 50 pounds from where I started. I've seen both health benefits, which are wonderful, but it's the internal things. The changes that I've seen in myself that I would never have 3.5 years ago, been able to sit here and carry a conversation about what I've learned and where I've been.
I think it's helped him on his, in all the sports he plays football and he plays baseball, giving him the confidence and the understanding that if he's not the winner at everything, that's okay. As long as he's given his level 10 best and given 100%, that's all you can ask.
I've been focusing more on school and I've been getting better grades. I don't talk as much and I have more self-confidence.
Whether it's doing a spinning wheel kick, with some of the other hard stuff we've done, memorizing 20 consecutive moves, okay, for a Kung Fu form, or getting your checkbook in order. It all starts out the same way. You figure out what you want to do and you figure out the steps on how to get there. And that goal setting and that self-discipline that we learned from the martial arts has changed our lives fiscally, physically, spiritually, as a family. I mean, we are so much better people than we were 4 years ago when we first moved out here to Indianapolis.
Level 10 is a place of personal and character development and a place to develop success and leadership. I want my students and their parents and families to grow from being involved in our program. One of my favorite phrases that I use to the students is, if you invest, for every $1 you invest with me, I'm going to give you $2 back in return on your investment, and I make sure that happens in our program.
Level 10, I don't think, is a limit that is set by other people, but it's something that you set for yourself. It's a goal, and once you attain that goal, level 10 is the next level as well.
It's going to provide structure, discipline, and good role models for your child. They're good life skills, of course martial arts in general, good life skills, self-defense, exercise, but also the mental skills of self-discipline, focus, control, respect, humility, honesty. Those are all core values here, and they're emulated every day.
They're going to learn how to be respectful, how to be obedient, how to think things through, which nowadays is a tremendous asset for any child, especially.
I think level 10 means to Bryce giving your best at everything you do every day.
Ultimately, I want them to be able to push and to chase their potential and realize that they can do a lot more than they thought they could, and take that spirit with them wherever they go, so that whatever obstacle they have, they know that they can make it if they just persist and keep going.
Level 10 Martial Arts College means it's not just a school. It's somewhere where we can be serious and yet have fun at the same time. And it's not where we give a level 6 to where like we're not giving any effort. We give our level 10 at all times, even if we're not even talking or doing anything.
I'm so happy here. A lot of friends, everybody's close. It's very family oriented.
It's a great family environment.
It doesn't matter if you're 5 or you're 50.
I think every parent should at least come and bring your children, come with them and watch. I guarantee after only one class you'd be very impressed.
We've had a lot of fun at level 10. We've learned a lot from level 10 and we've grown stronger from our experiences here.
We'd like to thank you for taking your time to check out the martial arts programs and to check out particularly Level 10 Martial Arts College. We'd like to invite you to come in at some point and observe our classes and observe some of the students in class. I'm certain that there's somebody just like you in our school, and we would love to have you part of our program, and we're looking forward to meeting you.
The last time I stood like this, she was her first day of school, as we talked. But she's come a long ways. You all see that. I was thinking what Mr. Hampton thinks, because he was very first when she walked to the door, kept kicking her in the butt. Come on, you can do it. And he knows it too, look at him smile. But now you got a big family now, Mr. Ferris. When we first started, you had what, 24, 30 people? But now you got a big family. It was all her. I mean, we was there. We're all proud of her. So, you know, when we first started school, you was doing all the teaching. You was doing all the paperwork. You was bringing people in. You signing people up. It still took time. for your students. We appreciate you doing that.
I remember, Rachel, I believe she saw your school and her school. You came in and did a demonstration, and that's true, right?
I don't know if it was them, but I think
Okay, well, it was a school that came in, and it triggered her in interest in martial arts. And we thought about it for a while, and we went to a few different schools looking for the right school. And it was amazing the difference when we came to level 10 as opposed to the other schools we went to. The attitude of the students, I never had young students come up to me and speak to me the way that they did at the other schools, saying, yes sir, yes ma'am, just very disciplined, just the type of things that we were looking for in a martial arts school, the things you think about, the things you want to instill in your children, you know, discipline and respect. And those things were definitely evident in level 10 that were not as evident in the other schools. So we took a plunge, and after a few months you invited her into the black belt program, and it took us a little while to make that commitment because it was a 3-year commitment and we weren't sure she was ready for that. But she knew she was. We didn't. But so here she stands today, and we're extremely proud of her. She's came a long way. I can't say enough just about the persistence. She wants to come to class. She drags us to class, not the other way around. And I'm sure a lot of parents may be the other way, but she's been very persistent, and if this has all been her, it has not been us. And for that, I'm very proud of her.
She is a very strong girl. So I'm very proud of her. I don't know what else to say. When she chose martial arts, I was really hoping for tutus and bows and glitter, but no, this is what she wanted, and we just backed her up on it. She did a year of dance, and just to tell you a little bit about her personality, during recital, she broke the bed. It was a prop. During gymnastics, you heard her name every 5 seconds because she did her own thing and didn't listen. Baseball, she could hit the ball really good, but she was the kid with the ball would fly over her head because she's on the ground picking flowers. So we were really glad to see her find something that really makes her who she is, and she really enjoys it. So
I put that I wanted to get to the beginning because black belt's the beginning. I heard you say that one time.
Many times I've thought about quitting. Probably the main time was after getting my first degree black belt and coming to class the next few weeks. Just felt like I continued to do everything wrong and couldn't get anything right, but I pushed through that, and I'm very glad that I did. Perseverance is very important to me, especially every class I feel like I have to persevere through something. But probably one of the main experiences that helped me was when my brother failed his black belt test. And I was pretty sure that he was going to quit, but he really surprised me when he came back and ended up getting his belt, and I was very proud of him. Just to keep pushing through whatever challenges you may have, because the rewards are great and the possibilities are endless.
I'm just excited. Nathan's a great kid. A young man, sorry. He's amazed me for 17 years. Whatever he puts his mind to, he does it. And he's awesome.
Children give you what you invest in them many times, and Nathan has just rewarded us so much. Everything that we've spent to send him to Christian school, to bring him to level 10, he has returned our investment, and he's done well in school. He started at IUPUI before he even graduated from high school. He's been doing well at IUPUI, and he's just got such a determination and such a focus, and a very good, wish I could get more work ethic in the mowing grass category, things like that, but a very good work ethic academically, and I just think he's a fine young man, and I just love him, and I'm very proud of him today.
I'm really proud of him, and during the time when I failed my black belt test, he was a great role model for me to keep going, and I'm just really proud of him.
And I didn't want to do it, and I was like, I don't want to do it, and then I did it, and I felt so good.
I was very proud of her for not giving up on her final break, and just to keep trying and to keep trying just made me very happy. She seemed very determined to me to get it done, and with your help she did.
Oh, I'm very proud of her.
I'm not allowed to use the word awesome, so we agreed on fantabulous. I don't know, you've seen him go from hiding in a corner and not speaking to anybody to a black belt. We appreciate your help. The school has brought us closer together, and we're growing as a family, and he's growing into a fabulous man.
Well, I can say awesome. He didn't tell me I couldn't, so yeah, I'm just overwhelmed. Yeah, from the little kid that, yeah, I was scared to death. He was always going to get his butt kicked, into the confident young man that he is. And it's all because of this school. I don't think I could have done it on my own. And very appreciative. I'm just overwhelmed.
Actually, my wife found the school. We were looking for an activity for Rose, really. And we had looked around at a couple different options. We were thinking about gymnastics or dance. And we also thought about martial arts. And when we looked at the option of martial arts, it was like, well, we can take Rose to gymnastics and sit there and be bored and read a book and watch her having fun and work with her at home, or all of us could do Taekwondo as a family activity. And we decided to give it a try. And once we started kicking together, we were just sticking together, and we just loved it. And I had come in to speak to Mrs. Theros and yourself about taking a break for a few months. And you had asked me, how bad do you want it? How much are you willing to do to make it work? It put things in perspective, and I decided to make it work. So we made it work. I went home, and after that class, I just wanted to quit. I wanted to give up because I felt like I couldn't do anything. I felt like my head wouldn't work. I felt like I was stupid. I felt like just complete failure. But I said, I'm going to go back and I'm going to try it one more time. And the next class, I went out there, and I don't think I got half of it right, but I performed with energy, I performed with passion, and I went with confidence no matter what movement I was doing. And then the correction settled in, and I was able to understand it. And it was just that clicked that all I have to do is just keep trying and keep trying.
I am very impressed.
Are you glad he didn't give up?
Yes, very.
I'm very, very proud of him. He says there were two. I remember lots and lots of days when he came home from class or from practicing or from being at work and missing class and going, why am I doing this? This is crazy. And wanting to give up. And, you know, he'd go, I'd tell him go sleep on it, and every morning or every night, he'd wake up and go, no, I'm going to class today. And I said, I thought you were quitting. He said, nope, I'm going to class today. There's been a lot of outside pressures on us to not be standing here today. And I don't know that there's any way that I could have been standing here if he'd have quit. Well, we started 3 years ago, and I found the school because I thought that Rob and Rose needed something that would help them focus. I was finding the only times they were focusing was when glowing pixels were involved. So I said, you know, having done martial arts previously through karate, I knew that traditional martial arts could really help with the focus. And so I sent them to have the first test, and they came home raving, and they dragged me out on the floor, and Mrs. Theros handed me a uniform, and I was on the floor before I knew what I was doing. I think a lot of the adults here may have had some of that experience. There's a reason to be out here. The reason is that the physical is not the only benefits. There are lots of benefits that aren't physical, that you can learn on this floor no matter what. The confidence, the self-esteem, the ability to understand that it doesn't matter if you fail. That only through failure do we really find out who we are. That it is in those moments of greatest failure, those moments of how can I stand up again, that you really find out what you're made out of.
I really think that she is a great role model.
I am extremely proud of her. If not for her strength, I probably would have quit several times. She said that she couldn't do it without me. I couldn't do it without her.
That we've had so many outside forces that have been, especially aimed at me, telling me that I shouldn't be out here, that I should quit, and that it's not worth it. That I really felt like if I even wanted to quit for a moment, that it was going to happen. That I had enough excuses and enough reasons that if I wanted to quit, or even allowed myself to want to quit, that it was just going to happen. And I didn't want to quit. I wanted to be standing here today, and I want to be standing with the black belts on Monday, knowing that I made it every step of the way. Easy or not, that I made it.
I'm very proud of him. We've been growing up, and I've always been the one to play sports, and I've always been doing stuff, and he's always been the one that's just been standing around watching and not really been involved in anything. So he got involved in this, and I do remember at first I was just like, well, now he just thinks he can beat me up now. But I am very proud of him because he's worked at it. I have heard the conversations in the house about him wanting to quit, and he didn't quit, and he's standing here right now, hopefully about to get the belt. So I'm very proud of him for that.
What happened basically was I was looking for martial arts school. I took martial arts when I was 6, maybe for, I don't know, 6 months or something, and had always liked it. I knew what it could do, and at that time I was ready for my daughter to be put in some type of activity that would build her character and her strength and her physical, all that together. And so I was also wanting to do some competition type things, so I was trying to look for a school where we could meet both. And so I saw the Muay Thai school, and I went out there, did an intro, and it just wasn't what I was looking for her. And so I came to level 10. It's a little bit further away from where we were staying at the time, and Mrs. Steris did the intro with Deja, and it was just spot on. Everything that we wanted to hear, we heard it, and I could feel it and sense it in the atmosphere with the people, and the rest is history.
I'm so proud of her. I was surprised at the end of the breaking with all the practice that she has not been doing, that we've been asking her to do. I think it was obvious. I was pretty excited when she broke those boards. But I'm just really proud of her.
I think I can probably speak for everybody. Every parent wants to see their child do the best they can do. Not necessarily be perfect all the time. Maybe it comes off like that sometimes, but all we want to see is our children do the best that they can, and usually that's enough. 99.99999% of the time, that's enough. And today, it was definitely enough. And I think I also speak for the rest of the school when I say that we truly appreciate you, Master Theris and Mrs. Theris, for the program, your vision, and your leadership, because without it, I don't know, maybe we're not here creating memories like this. And so we truly do appreciate what you've done, and having the opportunity to stand here and just be so proud of our children and our family.
Pretty much waited to the last minute to sign up because he was sort of leaning towards football, but he ended up deciding that this is what he wanted to do. So we encouraged him, like we said, he had to. But
respect.
Pretty much everything you said happened. Had more respect, more focus, and better discipline. So it worked.
Thank you. And I didn't want to do it, and I was like, I don't want to do it, and then I did it, and I felt so good.
I was very proud of her for not giving up on her final break, and just to keep trying and to keep trying just made me very happy. She seemed very determined to me to get it done, and with your help she did.
Oh, I'm very proud of her.
It helped me because I used to be really, really shy, and there are a lot of things on my own, but now I'm not as shy, and I really don't do things on my own. Like, I do certain times, but then there's times to where we have a big group, and then I'm in the big group.
Grandma was something. She improved a lot. We're proud of her.
in a lot of ways.
Thank you in multiple different ways. Thank you.
Okay.
He's never a problem at school. I've gone through several schools now and never met the principal. That's a good thing. Not even known who they were.
He's nothing like I was as a kid. I mean, he actually cares what other people think. And it means a lot to him to make people happy. And I'm really hard on him at times. Too hard at times, but I see a lot of accomplishment for him to come as far as he's come. We've actually been here for 5 years now, correct? 4? Okay, 4 years. When we came in, we all just took a part in everything, and they took people in, and it was just like it was moving to come in here, and they would sit down with you on the bench, and okay, Casey's doing, this is the reason behind this, and they would give you the lessons and everything. Because at first we sat on the bench, and we were being explained what Casey was doing and everything like that there, and it was just, it was not found anywhere else. There's a family feeling, and when there's a family feeling and everyone's engaged, you can accomplish so much more, and it brings everybody up.
Well, I grew up right around the corner on Carson and Thompson, right over here, and plus I'm a police officer here on the southeast side, and I knew the school was here. I drive past it all the time. It was something I always wanted to do when I was younger, and did as an adult, and I thought it would be good for Jackson to help him grow with his coordination and his self-discipline and things like that. And since he has been in martial arts, he's grown substantially as a little person and as in his own self-discipline. His teachers say that Jackson is a leader, that he sets a good example for the other kids. When other kids are having problems, he immediately helps the other children, and it's been good for him in that aspect. And his teachers tell us that he's a blessing to have in class, and that he's just, which is I think a lot to do with the way he's raised at home and with a lot of the discipline and training he gets here.
He had just turned 4.
He had just turned 4 when he started. What's our motto? What does Daddy always tell you about sticking with stuff? God. Miller's never
quit.
That's right. Little ninjas, and he started to get bored with that because he was beyond that. And Mrs. Theros saw that also, and that's when they recommended him for the beginner's class. And as soon as he got his yellow belt, he said that he wanted to be a black belt. And we told him that if he made that commitment, that he was in for the long haul, and it was his decision, not ours. I think so.
When he wants to come to class 4 days a week, yeah, it's worth it.
As a person, we're and as a society, we have too many sheep, and we need more leaders. And what are you teaching your kids if you just let them quit everything they start?
Yeah, exactly. And plus, I mean, our child loves it. So, it's not hard for us to make him go to class. He truly does love it, and he has a good time when he's here. And so when we get here, it's the kids that he's with, and it's the positive attitude, and he blends right in with everybody, and he just loves it, so we have no problem.
Me and Ethan have been going for 3 years, almost.
Close to two and a half.
Two and a half, yeah. Actually, you found it through the advertising.
One of the mailings that you do, and Ethan had been interested in martial arts for a long time.
Oh, yeah?
So we'd been thinking about it for a while, and so when we saw the ad, we thought, well, we'll go check it out and see what it's all about.
Well, I was interested in doing it, but I didn't know. I was a little worried about my age and everything else, but he got out there and he was kind of having a rough time, so Mrs. Theros invited me out on the mat, so I jumped out there with him, and I loved it. And kept on doing it. I mean, I would have much rather started it when I was his age, but it's very doable. I mean, it's excellent. I'm more flexible, stronger, losing weight, it's just all around. My health has improved. Stress, just dealing with stress at work is much better.
Fantastic. Yeah, it's. I know people who take one kid to soccer one night and another kid to band another night, and mom's got to go here and dad's in there like 50 million directions. So we all get to come here together twice a week, and then we go home, and we have our nights at home then together, and we practice together. So we don't just have to say, Ethan, practice your form. It's, Ethan, come practice this form with me. So we do it together as well. So yeah, it's wonderful. So I initially started out just kind of helping out, and within probably 4 or 5 months, I was running the program for Little Ninjas. So, and as part of that, you know, I started in the regular program, the black belt, and the gold team. So it's kind of hard to teach a class and not be a leader, so I thought that was pretty important. So then we've been doing it ever since. It's been about
One thing, I grew up on a farm, and so we were all the time working together and had responsibility, and that's something that I didn't see. A lot of my friends, their kids, they don't have any responsibility. They don't give them anything. And besides just giving chores around the house, it gives him, well, someone besides me is telling him the same thing. I mean, you tell him, don't do this, and I'm in there telling him, don't do that, and so it clicks in a little bit more that he needs to, I kind of lost my train of thought.
they don't listen to mom and dad all the time, but you know,
yeah,
the instructors that they respect here, and either other parents here that they like and respect, if they say, you know, have respect, show respect, have control, they go, oh, yes. I guess I should do that. And they may not listen to us, but they listen to other people, so it's a good support network all around. But they're definitely more mature, I think, and more responsible than they would be otherwise.
Yeah, they just got a lot higher work ethic and chip in a lot more and do things.
I mean, it is really, it's helped me physically and mentally. I still have a ways to go, but I'm probably 50 pounds down from when I started, and I mean, I'm taking on more of a leadership role at work. I have. They make me in charge of all kinds of little things. I have to stay late sometimes and make sure those things happen. But I mean, they always. I mean, it seems like before I was in martial arts, I was working there before I was in martial arts, and before I was working in martial arts, I was just a guy that was sitting at a desk. And now, I mean, you know, it has to be because of my leadership training that I've had. But I get like little projects and stuff that I'm in charge of all the time, and I've changed some of the ways that I do things at work. So I think I might have told you before. When you're filing files with these little rolly chairs and people are spinning around and doing that stuff, I just kind of squat up and down and kind of change the way I've done things at work. It's given my, I mean, you know, my family's real proud of me for it. They always ask me about it, and I mean, it's a little hard for them to kind of understand what all this kind of means to me unless they're involved in it. But I mean, I do my best to try to convey what this has been like for me, and you know, just how it's helped my life, and they understand to a certain degree, so they're really super proud of me for it. And I know my parents always wanted to put me through martial arts as a child, you know, but they just couldn't for whatever reason, and I always wanted to do it, and now that I'm able to do it for myself, they're really kind of proud of me for that. I don't know, it's just helped every facet of my life. I mean, it's helped me at work, it's helped me with my music. I mean, since becoming a martial artist and an instructor, I've taken more of a front position in music. I mean, when I started in martial arts, I was like the background guitar player, and in the band I'm playing in now, I mean, I pretty much am the guy up front. So, you know, I have to think that has something to do with it too. I mean, I've been more confident with the songs that I'm writing and the way I sing and the way I'm playing, and I'm just like, I'm gonna do it. So it's helped me there. It's just, I mean, every single facet of my life. I mean, I just can't even, you know, there's nothing that I do in my life that hasn't been affected positively by martial arts.